TVC News, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
And away from Nigeria now, Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa says he has been in talks with opposition leader Nelson Chamisa to try to defuse tension over this week's presidential election after violent clashes on the streets of Harare. Soldiers had stepped in to disperse protesters who made fires.
Zimbabwe. Because the first one was Mugabe and Mugabe alone. Now this is supposed to be second independence in my
for Zimbabwe.
Yes, but it would appear that even the protests on the streets may not be sustained for too long. Mike, it takes more than just talking for your supporters to go on the streets. If you can sustain the occupation, fine. But if you cannot, then I think sooner than later. I mean, for me, it's even unusual. Normally, you would have thought that Mnangagwa would have waited. After they have announced the results, then he would say, I want to hold talks. That was what Kenyatta did.
Yes.
You hold on. When you hold the aces fully. But I think that with majority, by taking 144 out of just a little over 200 of parliamentary seats,
all right,
it's already as good as being in the kit for the ZANU-PF.
Okay.
So they are now making this offer.
Okay. Well, one would have thought that maybe he wants to toe the line of Morgan Tsvangirai, the way he, held the government to ransom to the level where he became prime minister at the time. But Cyril, thank you very much for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Right. Well, that's the news at this time. For details, you can visit our website at tvcnews.tv and also join the conversation on our social media platform using TVC News NG. Thanks for watching. I am Mike Okwache. Bye now.
All right, greetings, folks. Welcome to another date on This Morning. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Today, Benue as metaphor for political harshness. Now, when in 1999, the military elected to return to the barracks, the great expectation was for a reformed political class that would take a military-weary populace to an El Dorado of sorts. But no. Politicians who forgot nothing became the new tyrants under the Obasanjo 8 years presidency. Governors Joshua Dariye Plateau, Peter Obi, Anambra, Rashid Ladoja Oyo, and Ayofayese Ekiti were all illegally muzzled out of office. Now, in 2018, Benue State helmsman Samuel Ortom, in a return to the bad days, is in the throes of a messy impeachment drama. 8 out of 30 lawmakers were about to make a mess of boiling a 5-minute egg. You will understand. Let's start the debate. But let's meet and greet my guests. Festus Akintola is a security expert and political affairs analyst. Festus, I greet you. Welcome.
Good morning.
We also have Eniton Olu Kotun. Am I right?
Yeah.
He's a journalist and a public affairs analyst. I also welcome you, folks.
It's a pleasure being here.
So, the scenario is not a new one. In fact, I take you back to the Second Republic, okay. The first governor to be impeached in this country. Kaduna, old Kaduna State.
Kaduna State.
Balarabe Musa was so removed from office because he refused to give each member of the then NPN dominated or predominated House of Assembly 50,000 naira each. Big money at the time.
Of course.
So the cycle continues.
Yeah, of course, Citizen Jones, you said it. And I'm happy when you were, in your intro, you did attest to the fact that this is not the first time we are in a throes of tyranny, as it were. You record during the time of President Olusegun Obasanjo, how governors were willfully removed and state of emergency declared in those states and what have you. So what is happening in Benue is quite worrisome. And to me, it appears that the political class have probably, they are somehow inured to the development and realities of our time. The days of high-handedness, manipulation, intimidation is gone for good. And it is high time they actually, they believe
gone
that.
for good?
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, they should know that it's gone for good. We are not in a military.
But women is not telling you that.
Yeah, that is why it's quite worrisome. That is why it's quite worrisome. We are not in a military dictatorship. So if you want to remove a serving governor, there are laid down procedures. And you must follow that through. So if you don't follow that, if you circumvent that particular process, the entire exercise will be nullity. So it is very important for the political class to know that they are not the only stakeholder in the project called Nigeria. They can use their own selfish and in most cases, self-driven political ambition to set the entire country ablaze. So now tell me, if the lawmakers or the governor of the Benue State deploy the state powers at his disposal to restrain those 8 lawmakers out of...
Anita, you are dreaming of a state police here.
No. Yes, of course. Not even talking about the state police.
No.
The governor.
I'm just rubbing that in.
Yes.
Supposing he had a way of fighting back.
Fighting back using the state coercive agency.
Yeah.
You could best imagine what could turn out in Benue. So therefore, we need to actually set a kind of template that will give the political class some kind of restraint, why pushing their own political agenda? Because this nation is not only theirs, it belongs to every one of us.
Okay. At least that's what the books say.
Well, you see, I want to go to one of the stanzas in the national anthems.
Which one?
Which says that the labors of our hero past shall not be in vain. And that is of paramount importance.
That's your old anthem.
Dude, saying yes, those should not be in vain because people fought for independence of this country. People fought for this democracy we are enjoying today. And what is of paramount importance to me as regards to Benue is the wanton killings of the herdsmen and the farmer. I mean, you are using your political, because of your selfish interest and the political interest you have in regaining the strength in Benue State. This wanton killing is becoming so enormous and is germane to the unities of this country. So it could undermine the unity of this country, which our past heroes have fought for. That is of paramount importance to me.
Festus, I'm sure you know we are dealing with the big man syndrome in our country. Okay. Benue State is torn between 2 big men. The immediate past governor, Senator George Akume, and the incumbent,
Samuel Otom.
Should that be done at the detriment of people's life?
But at that point, Enito, who do you blame? The politician or the followers?
No, we have to blame the system. For someone like me, I have been advocating for us to have a strong institution rather than having strong men. And these days, even if you want to do anything...
Strong men would propel strong institutions, don't you think?
No, if you have strong institution, and if everyone, regardless of your standing or social status in the society, if everybody subject their wills, to the dictates and the tenets of the law, so you can't have a situation where someone, probably because he has a brainwave, and just decide all of a sudden that this is exactly what I'm going to do in variance to the law. In variance to the law. So therefore, we must have strong institutions. We must continue to strengthen, the democratic structures we have in the society, so that we can continue to be having this kind of situation we are having.
Yeah. I may not want to subscribe to what he's saying. This about having an institutions. We should start and orientate our people.
Having strong institutions.
Strong institutions rather having strong men.
You don't like an institution.
You understand? Yes. You see, we should build our system in such a way that the elite show interest in politics. Nigerian elite don't show interest in politics. That's, you want to believe, you look at it, what is happening in Osun State now. In Osun State now, one of the governorship aspirants is being asked to go and produce his whole-level certificate. That will tell you that the caliber of people...
or wrong, rightly or wrongly?
Rightly or wrongly. You understand?
I'm asking you, show your certificate. Is it right?
It is right.
Wrong?
It is right.
Okay.
But now you can see the caliber of people that want to govern a state who doesn't even have a school certificate.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, he doesn't even have a school certificate. You understand what I'm saying? What fundamental thing do you want?
I'm sure you know what the Constitution says in that regard.
I know.
It says, attempt the O-level
certificate. But he doesn't even, it is alleged that he doesn't even have.
Okay.
It is alleged that he doesn't even have.
So at that point,
that is because he's a money bag.
Does it make him any less a big man than he is?
Because the Nigerian electoral system is so monetized. If it is not so monetized, I mean, such people will not show interest in politics.
Take us to Imo State, so I don't forget.
All right.
Imo State is presently in the throes of not having an effective deputy governor.
So it's even worse if you consider the fact that there is a subsisting court order restraining the Imo State House of Assembly from proceeding with the impeachment process of Madumere, the deputy, the ex-white deputy governor of the state. So therefore, what they are telling us is that, rule of law is no longer tenable in our society. And if you don't have a rule of law, the alternative is the rule of man.
Or the law of rule.
Exactly, which will definitely result to anarchy. So now we are seeing a state of anarchy in the process, in view, in that particular state. Because if a court state, wait a minute, don't go ahead with this impeachment, and because of the political ambition of the governor, he suppressed the State House of Assembly and had his way. Now tell us, are we in a banana republic? Are we in a jungle? If we don't have laws, if a governor can just decide based on probably his own whims and caprices.
But the laws are there. The laws provide, amongst other things, for a separation of powers, the executive, the legislative, the judiciary. When you hear things like Festus and Eniton, when you hear things like state assemblies are in the pockets of governors, what does that say about...
It states to the fact that they don't have independence. Because, for instance, if you are expecting me to be paying your bills every month, definitely you have to, probably subject yourself to certain conditions. It will definitely come with some proviso. So that is exactly what we are seeing. They don't have independence, especially financial autonomy for the states, and that is the situation nationwide.
The president just signed the law the other day.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Which is a very good.
We hope it will be executed.
Which is a good development. However, in all this thing, we need to talk about the complicity of the state's coercive agency, especially the police. The police definitely is giving some backing, because there is no way you can, execute an illegal agenda without the backing of the police. You recall that we read in the report, in media reports, that the police actually restricted some members loyal to the governor in Benue, and allowed the head people to be conducting themselves in such a shameful manner. So if you now tell me that if you have a police that should be the agency that should uphold and enforce the law, and it appears that the police itself is probably in connivance, active connivance with people who want to subvert the process. Then what are we going to say to that?
First, so what is the court doing? Go back to Benue. What's the court's position on it?
Well, you see, the court position on it in Benue State, for now, you know, when cases are in court, one should be very, very careful not to delve into it much because...
No, you are not talking about a possible result, but the reaction of the court
to what is happening
in
Benue State. You see, he who pays the piper dictate the tune. I'm going to be totally honest with you that the Nigerian judiciary is not that so independent in that, with an apostrophe there. They sit down to the tune of the executive.
We are far from home.
We are far from home. They sit down to the tune of the executive.
Those are weighty allegations that you have to be very careful about.
So it is that caveat. But you see, what is of paramount importance to me now is the issue of wanton killings between the herdsman and the farmer. You will see that in 2014, the government of Ebele Jonathan realized the fact that, look, there is critical issue on ground about farmers and X-men.
Yeah.
And they know that at that time that the solution to this is the issue of ranching.
Yeah.
Now, they voted 100 billion naira to that effect. And the National Economic Council then approved the disbursement. It was disbursed. And to all states that they should have mini ranches in all the states. Now, where is the money?
Where are the ranches?
Where are the ranches?
Anytime, the court has made a pronouncement that, you know, in Benue.
As regard what?
The process, the impeachment.
No, yes, of course. I don't think I have information concerning that. No, but let me speak to what my brother just said about the 100 billion naira, you know, that was voted, you know, for the ranchings during the time of this day. I don't want us to get ourselves into the politics of ranching, cattle coloning.
No. But the governor himself had said one of the reasons he's being so haunted is because he said no to ranching.
No, if you look at it, Uncle Jones, you know, if you recall, I think if I'm not mistaken, the first day of this year, that was on the first day, January 1st, about 73 people were killed in that state. And what we had expected naturally is for the commander-in-chief to act swiftly, you know, at least visit that state and all that. So if Governor Otom, as it were, is monopolizing the violence, the herdsmen clashes violence for his own political gain, that is for him. You know, if the executive, the presidency has dropped the ball in managing the situation effectively, so he wouldn't have such public sympathy. No, I'm coming. Public sympathy, you know, for people to believe that, wait a minute, it's because this guy said no to cattle colony, and now we're now, now rechristened ranching, that is why it's been housed to account. It's been asked.
You know, Festus does not share your sentiment.
The sentiment is this: you are saying that if Autumn has monopolies of political for his own personal benefit, but as whose detriment, they are killing people. These people they are killing are not animals. You understand? In the United States of America, they have issues of herdsmen and farmers. You will remember in the 50s about the issue of the cowboys. And what the immediate solution is the issue of ranching. Ghana has such a problem, and the problem is the issue of ranching. Under the Jonathan administration, they realized the fact that ranching is the solution to it, and they voted 100 billion naira, and which was disbursed to all states. Where is the money today? Now, if Jonathan or the PDP see ranching as the solution, why is under APC now PDP is not seeing ranching as solution to the issue of the problem at hand?
Seeing ranching as the answer is a different thing from ensuring that ranches were there. If you voted money for a particular project, obviously it's only natural to kick the ball and follow.
If the ranches if the ranching has been done by now, so I think
Autumn was not in power in 2014 when that money was voted.
No, Festus, but you should interrogate that. If you appropriated money for a particular thing, you should kick and follow the ball.
Exactly.
Sure. You see, the National House of Rep instituted a panel to look into that issue of 100 billion, naira. Now, up to today, they've not come out to the public with the outcome of the investigation.
All right. Let's look at the saga, the impeachment mess in Benue State. I did say when democracy returned in 1999, we thought we were on the high ground to El Dorado. But we had laid templates. Is it always the problem of the politician or the elector? We talk about followership. We must talk about followership.
Yeah, it is both.
Okay.
Because the society we throw up is products, for elective position. The politicians, as bad as they may appear, they didn't drop from the sky. They went out of the pool
In other words, we deserve what we are getting?
Yes, of course, one way or the other. And both way, like I said earlier, that even if you look at the electorate themselves, they haven't showed enough interest, or they don't have a full grasp of
where's the problem? Voter education?
No, voter education and the need for our people to recognize that vote, the power of your thumb, is the pathway, for a secure future for your children. I was in my hometown recently, and I was telling some people, because I saw the level of poverty and what have you in the community, and I was telling them that recently you had elections, and some of you were collecting money, to go and cook soup.
Which hometown is this?
No, I'm talking of Ondo State.
Okay.
Now, I told them that you don't need it. If you cook a pot of soup for a day, after the whole day, after that day, you will be hungry again. Why can't you insist that the political class or any candidate whatsoever who is coming to your community to campaign to at least give you a cottage industry? In that cottage industry, you are going to
stomach infrastructure.
And not stomach infrastructure. We shouldn't be ruled by our bellies. So anybody who is controlled by his belly will always be shortchanged. That is the fact.
Man will always get hungry.
So we told them that why can't you insist that these people should have a cottage? You are complaining of mass unemployment for your children, that some of your children who have graduated are not doing subsistence farming and what have you, and then you don't see that you can use that your vote to trigger that process that will secure the future of your children.
You see, Nigerian citizen has been so povertized. Pulverized. Let me tell you one thing which I wouldn't want to subscribe to. I mean, the fact that an average Nigerian is so poor. I'm going to be thorough. They are poor.
Sorry, hold on. Are you talking? No, hold on. Are you talking about
education of? You are talking
intellectual poverty or poverty of the pocket?
Poverty of the pocket. Poverty of the, no, I'm not talking intellectual poverty. Okay. I'm talking of the poverty of the pocket.
But this is the worst form of poverty.
It's the worst form of poverty, and I want to tell you, Nana, I told you earlier on that Nigerian elites don't show interest in politics. They have apathy for going into politics. That is why we are saying. That's why he's saying that is the product of the society. No, it's not the product of the society.
What's responsible for that?
Because
the big man syndrome. We agreed earlier on.
Yes, it's because the Nigerian political stage is